Hello everyone and welcome back to Overland Trails Adventures. We are very excited today to introduce you to the latest rig in the Overland Trails Adventures fleet, purpose built, and we'll get to that at the end of the video. In this video we're going to do a full walk around of the vehicle, why we chose it, what we did to it to get it ready for this style of setup, and the camper setup of what we've done there, the options we've chose. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the people who helped us build it, the vendors that came together to give us consultation, and talk to us about what to do and why we needed to do it certain ways and advise us along the way. First and foremost, Libby and Ryan over at CB Adventure Supply. Can't thank y'all guys enough for coming together with all of the different vendors y'all have access to and bringing to bear the full force of CB Adventure to get this rig built and all the advice. I want to thank Dobinson Suspension USA. David over at Dobinson helped us to map out the suspension with Ryan, dial it in and get it really set up to carry this much weight and get it trail ready. I'd like to thank Four Wheel Campers who worked with us on the configuration and design to meet the purpose-built process that we want to go through in the future and why we built it. And we'll get into more of why we built it at the end of the video. Alrighty, first and foremost, in any build like this of any significance, you got to choose a good platform. We went with the new 2024 Toyota Tundra 3rd Gen crew cab to have plenty of space inside, and the limited trim model to get to a certain couple of things. The limited is one of the easiest ways. It comes standard with the 32-gallon gas tank, which gives you long-range travel. No need to get a long-range tank, which is not available for this rig. A couple of quick caveats about the Toyota Tundra, the new model. We went with it for Toyota's legendary reliability, the availability of parts worldwide, if we ever want to go international travel, and just the reputation of it. Since then, though, we've come across a couple of challenges, one or two recalls. Obviously, you've heard some of the bigger recalls in the marketplace where the 22 and 23 year models had engine problems, turbo problems, all kinds of little things going on, plastic on seats breaking. I get the question a lot, if you had to do this build again, would you choose the Toyota Tundra 3rd Gen for this process? And I say no. It's a great truck if you want to just drive around town and do stuff. My main problem is with the extra weight that we've added to this vehicle and the style of trips we like to take, it's just killing us on gas. The engine is the V6 twin turbo, 3.5 liter, I think is what it is. It doesn't have enough power really to move the truck with this much weight until the turbos kick in, and the turbos don't kick in until about 2,500 RPMs. So it really is kind of a sluggish ride compared to our 2014 Tundra with the Alu cabin on it. It is instant power, instant go. I might, if I stuck with Toyota, I would probably choose a 2021 Tundra Limited crew cab to do this build with. So it's kind of a half of one, half of the other. The technology is great, the new truck is great, except it's just not a good engine for this type of build. And I'd like to give a special shout out to Clint over at CB Adventure Supply for doing all the trim work, getting the bumper installed. Apparently it was a pain in the butt. And just thanks for all your hard work and your dedication to the craft of making things great. All right, we'll start up front. We have the CBI bumper with the half bull bar. We decided not to go with the full one because it just looks enormous and gigantic, and we just don't really need that much protection. In the bumper, we went with the Baja 30-inch amber bar up front, and on the side, we went with their amber pods from Baja, very bright, crazy bright. And for the winch, we went with an open road 13,000 pound winch, flat length fairing up front to help us pull everything. But so far the front's coming along very well. We went with the Baja 4-pod ditch lights, as well as you can see the stubby antenna from the Midland 575 radio. For the tire and wheel combo, we went with the BF Goodwrench all-terrain KO2s, tried and true tire we always use. It's been a really good, solid tread for us and good wear and not a lot of noise. It's a RT kind of a tire, so it does a good job in the city and on the road and on the trails. And the Method, I believe 705s in an 18-inch bead grip. What it does is it grips the tire itself without a bead lock. and has little barbs inside, so it holds the tire, gives you about another 5 pounds or so when you're airing down. One of the things that Ryan and I talked about early in this build was how to manage the weight. And so one of the key things we wanted to do was airbags. We went with the Ready airbag system. Here you can see it's got an onboard compressor. And this is also controlled by an app from my phone, so I can set the pressure, the ride. If I want to raise or lower either individual side, that's easily done as well. Airbags are easily tucked in here on the outside, away from the springs a little bit, and that way we really get good balance. It carries a lot of the weight here and there, but it mainly is just to make sure things are balanced to assist the Dobinson suspension. What you're looking at now is the front suspension, and we went with the Dobinson IMS 2.6-inch lift shocks and struts. These are custom packed a little bit to make sure we can carry the extra weight in the front. Again, David over at Dobinson's and Ryan designed this perfectly to be able to run the gear that we want to run, the bumper, the winch, the extra tire weight, everything is balanced perfectly. Now this is a little hard to see, but up here we have the Dobinson 2.6-inch MRR 3-way adjustable shock. We went with this one in the back to gain full level of adjustability for low and high speed compression on the trails. I can reach in here to the adjustable, adjust it either full, low compression, high compression, and really dial this in. Right now we've got it set pretty high to carry the weight, as well as we replaced the springs, if you can see them over there, with the Dobinson springs that help carry the weight itself. And so far everything is dialed in perfectly. David and Ryan really know what they're doing when it comes to dialing in these suspensions for these custom builds. As you can see, one of the big things it helps with is wind management with the little fairing there. Future add-ons will be a light bar up top, but you can also tell there that there's a fairing there from Colorado Fairing Company that helps manage a lot of the wind, the noise, and really kind of actually helps with gas mileage. It lowered our gas mileage, or raised our MPG quite a bit. I was quite impressed with it. Up top we went with the Sherpa rack. I believe it's called the Bear. This gives us a lot of flexibility on the roof to be able to do different things. One of the key components that you've obviously noticed on this truck is we took the truck bed off of the vehicle and installed a MITS alloy 6-foot tray. You'll notice that that is basically where all the weight is carried and is balanced on the rear suspension. Comes with storage boxes underneath to help keep anything all nice and neat. Helps keep everything easily organized in there. So you can see we've got a lot of gear in there, some hoses, some equipment, some tools and everything. Got one on the other side too that houses a lot of the interesting things that we'll get to here shortly with the air compressor. Some of the key things we're going to be doing in the back here is putting in a bumper. We haven't quite found one that we liked yet that fits here. A lot of the bumpers are just kind of the middle insert pieces into the existing bumper system. As you can see, the entire bumper system here is gone. But one of the wonderful things about this tray is we'll show you the trunk. What this tray does is it adds a full storage underneath section here where we can store just about anything that we don't want to put in the cab of the truck or in the camper. A lot of things that just get dirty, like this mat here, which we put out with the stairs to get in, air hoses, tow ropes, shackles, jumper cables, whatever, chairs. We got the front runner chairs back here. Whatever we don't want to put in there, because you can see my hand's already gotten dirty just by touching it. Makes an excellent, what we call a trunk. Wonderful to have that kind of stuff. Alrighty guys, I'm pretty proud of this. One of the things I saw Ryan do on his flatbed rig was install an ARB twin compressor inside this storage unit here. This is where all the hoses or anything like that will be stored. I've added the wifey kit, which one hose runs to each tire, so all you have to do is take a little short hose and plug it into the valve where it comes out at, and then plug it into the tire. You can raise this valve. You can air down all 4 tires at one time, or 2 or 1, whichever. When the compressor turns on, you open this valve here and you can then air up all the tires. And you got a gauge here to make sure all the tires, or again, 2 of the tires that you want aired up, get aired up all at the same way. I like to run 50 in the back, 40 in the front as a regular. So this really helps me to balance everything out and not drag hoses everywhere. And a key bonus is this compressor is also wired into my light controller pod up front, so I can turn it on either by my wireless remote app on my phone to that, or I can just jump in the truck and hit the button and the compressor turns on. Quick addition to that, in case I want to do something separate, I've got a little chuck here in the back coming out the back here where I can tap directly into it and run it off of any other type of hose that I want. One of the cool features of the MITS alloy is it has this water tank. It stretches the full length of the vehicle, as you can see. I believe it's 13 gallons, I have to double check that. But if we want outside water, it gives us a quick, easy, accessible spout here where we can have outdoor water and do whatever we need to. All gravity fed, there's no pump on it itself. All right, that pretty much covers the outside of the vehicle. Let's take a quick peek inside to see what we've done to make our travels more comfortable. Starting with the back seat to make sure we could have plenty of room, we built this platform to give us a good flat surface. This is a 60% coverage platform. I'm building out another 40% on the other side, so I have a 60-40 split. That way we can have, as you can see, 1 seat down, 1 seat up to be able to store things, to be able to put our trusty Iceco APL 35 freezer refrigerator. Also have a little drawer here to be able to store stuff down inside still and access that. One of the key components of any rig, you'll see here we use an aux beam control panel to control all the lights, radio, and the compressor. I've got to put a compressor sticker on there. We go with aux beam instead of shift pod or whatever those other ones are because they're just really economical. They work. They're really inexpensive. This particular one is a couple $100 because it's the one with a wireless app. They make them in 4, 6, or 8 configuration, and they're just easy to install too. It's just not a high process thing going on. And frankly, if this component goes out, the control panel, they're easy to switch out. It's got the control box under the hood where everything wires to. One of the key things, we got the Toyota Tundra Limited truck 4 was to get to the TRD off-road package, which gives us drive modes, tow haul modes, crawl control, multi-train select. And so all by this little dial here and this little 4x4 button over here, we're able to manage most trails and get down things we need to. Thankfully, with the Dobinson suspension, the good tires, we're able to really be mobile in where we go and where we choose to camp. And that's really important to us because we want to get away, we want to get up high enough out of the areas where we have good views, where we have a great experience. And we want to get to places where the RVs can't go. That's the bottom line. One of the key things we picked up on advice of Ryan over at CB was the Wolf Box rear view digital camera setup. It has kind of been a really bit of a game changer. As you can see, it is a digital camera that lets us see behind the rig because obviously the regular rear view mirror is inoperable with as much gear and boxes and stuff that we put back there with the big campers. We have them on both rigs, and it records, this particular model records frontwards and backwards every 5 minutes on an SD card, so in case we get in a wreck, we automatically have a recording of it. It really just makes things very flexible for us to be able to manage the vehicle. That's the front camera. That is the dual view back to the rear, so it's just a huge convenience and really a safety necessity. One of the key things we really enjoy about the big screen in this thing is ridiculous, but it's very helpful on navigation. And then whenever you really drill down into it, we have OnX Off-Road when it's linked to my Android Auto. One of the conveniences that we just had to do that we've done in other vehicles that makes life just so much easier when you're driving hours and hours on the road is the bullet point system. It's a phone holder system where we have a base plate installed up here which holds multiple devices. You can obviously see we got the GoPro mount right there. We have a phone mount on either side, but these are their powered rechargeable phone mounts, which is really kind of bougie when you think about it. It's wired into the USB controller up here. There's a video out on my YouTube channel about the installation of this. But all you have to do is take your phone, stick it in it. It closes around the phone, automatically starts charging for you, and all you have to do is drive. Some of the other features, we went with the limited and the TRD off-road package just to get to what we needed to. Is the view here is four-wheel, all cameras all the way around. It's got one camera in each mirror, a camera in front and a camera in back. And on our standard model, it has two cameras in the upper part of the back of the cab, one focusing on the bed of the truck and one focusing on long term behind the truck, long distances. So for the cameras, you get like 5 cameras for this thing. It's ridiculous, along with distance sensors and things like that. But with this particular package, we get the rear locker that automatically comes installed. Don't have to do anything with that. And as part of the bougie part of this whole deal, you have heated and air-conditioned seats. So that was just something we didn't even, think about or care about. But let me tell you, we were just out in Caprock Canyon out in West Texas, driving back at 100 and something degrees in Texas. The air conditioner was doing okay, but a little bit of extra just to make sure your bottom of your legs weren't sweating, it really helps out. So now we come to the whole reason why we built this rig with this platform, flatbed, the suspension, all the work to beef up the suspension that we did. It was all about this, the 4-wheel camper Hawk flatbed. Let's dive into why we chose it and what we're going to do with it a little bit later. But first, let's go over what this entails as far as its amenities on the outside, and how we can kind of help get a better understanding about why we chose this for our dream build. So the two questions we get a lot, and I'm not going to get into cost. If you want to know the cost of this, you can reach out to Ryan or Libby at CB Adventure Supply. Each one is custom made, so they're all individually priced according to the amenities that you chose. Cost is always a variable there, it really just depends. The next biggest question we get is weight. How much did this thing weigh, and how much does it weigh when going on trips? When it hit the floor, it had a tag on the window that said it was 1,788 pounds dry. And so that's what it was when it went on the flatbed that Ryan put on with his team over at CB. And so after that, we've added a few little things here and there and fully, it's got fully loaded with water and propane and all that kind of stuff. It probably comes out closer to, 2,100, 2,200 pounds. Because we switched out the bed, for a better bed, things like that. So in clothing and some of the other items, pantry items, things like that, it kind of just adds up quickly. So in no particular order of importance, what we have here on the passenger side is dual 10-pound propane tanks. What this gives us is the ability to be able to have propane for the heater inside and for the hot water heater inside, very important. We'll get to that later. But also what we use here is, this is the hose for the Genesis. We put a table right here, and so we can connect directly to this and cook outside. We'd rather cook outside anyway most of the time if the weather's nice. One of the things that my wife requested out of any of the builds that we do going forward is to have an easy way to get in and out of the vehicle, in and out of the camper situation. On the Jeep, we did the rooftop tent. We loved it. We had a lot of fun with it, but it was kind of challenging to get in and out of it whenever we had to, go to the restroom in the middle of the night, things like that. The door really counts when it comes to convenience, and it locks. We have a door handle lock and we have a deadbolt lock. Very secure, very convenient for that setup there, as well as the window, comes in real handy to be able to look out. One of the things my wife was concerned about was being able to push the top up and be able to get it up in position where we could camp easily. So we went with the roof actuators, which operates by a turnkey inside. So they automatically lift the roof up and put it down. Very convenient and worth the money, actually. One of the things we debated about a little bit more than I expected to was adding an awning to this rig. The Fioma F45S awning comes out and supports itself by putting legs through here. And so it gives you a little bit of shade over the door, helps protect from rain. It makes things a little bit more convenient, especially in the morning sun, maybe in the afternoon sun. Moving around to the back, one of the options we chose was optional area lights in the back. Comes in real handy whenever you're backing up or just needing a little bit of light. One thing that we're trying to figure out right now is where to get a little bit more storage. We ordered the back rack here, just plain Jane, nothing on it, just the rack itself. It's made out of strong aluminum. And so we're looking to be able to maybe build onto this a little bit with some molly panels or something. And we want to hang our Max Tracks and our trash bag back here. Makes it real convenient out of the way, so we're working on that. This whole rig's a work in progress still, so stay tuned to the channel so you'll be able to see all the different things we do. One of the things we really like is this huge back window. It's tinted, so it really helps out with being able to just see outside and enjoy what's going on outside while you're sitting inside, maybe eating dinner or the weather's bad and it's raining. One of the cool things that Ryan and his team did over there is make this easy connector. So all you have to do is disconnect this and these two, and the camper is completely disconnected from the truck. And then you undo 4 bolts and you can put the jacks on here and then lift this camper off the flatbed. That's basically how easy it is. I don't want to make it sound real easy, but it's really 4 bolts and those 3 plugs. And with the jacks, you can take this thing off. Now we're getting to some of the good stuff here. So this particular model comes standard with a few features that we all want and love. This is the input area for the 20-gallon onboard water tank. You can either hook up to RV water at an RV park if you want to and feed directly in. You'll need a pressure modulator for that. Or you can just fill the tank here. We fill the tank on a regular basis when we go out. You never know when you're going to need, water for anything. This is the outlet valve for the sink inside. It does not have a gray water tank on board, but you just hook a hose to this and a bucket down below, and that's where you can catch all the water coming off the sink. Highly recommend don't putting anything that can clog this sink, because I've heard it's kind of hard to clear, but it's easy. You just have a little strainer inside your sink and it catches all the food particles or whatever. If you're going to build a rig to this extent, you're going to get into the Hawk, any slide-in version or flatbed version, I'd highly recommend going with the Truma heater with the AquaGo water heater. It provides heat for the cabin during the wintertime. We've turned it on, I think, once because it's very well insulated, but it really helped out, just keeping the temperature in the cabin warm and the camper warm just a bit. The Aqua hot water heater has come in handy 10 times over, and for the sink, as well as it's plumbed to the shower, which we'll get into in a minute. This is the vent for the hot water heater, so everything comes out nice and good here. It doesn't come out into your camper. I've added a few levelers on the front and side here, just to be sure, that we can be level in the bed. That's kind of the big thing. So one of the key features here is when you're at home, you can plug into your house and charge your batteries from here directly from your home. Could call it shore power. If you're at a park that has electricity and you need to charge up or whatever, you can connect here directly in. I do recommend getting a regulator for this to make sure that the electricity is maintained properly. You don't want to overcharge or surge anything. A surge protector, I think, is what you should get. This is really just a little access piece here to get to the refrigerator. It's all sealed in and insulated. I just store a few little things like the water purifier and the connector to the shore power. This is a vent for the refrigerator. It also has an exterior fan built into here for the refrigerator, because in high temperatures it gets hot in there, it's hard to cool. One of the optional features is having an outdoor port for the shower. What this gives you the ability to do is have an outdoor shower here with hot and cold water. And this is the drain for the indoor shower, which we'll get into in a little bit. That's kind of an option there that I chose. It's kind of a little bougie thing, but wanted to make sure we had the conveniences of it. One of the things we're looking to do is put a onboard pop-out shower tent. Right now we have a pop-up Jolka shower tent, 2-room tent that we put on the back and around the host of that. Works really convenient, but we want to make sure this is a self-contained unit as much as possible. So we may mount it here or on the back side. We haven't quite decided yet. And if the rooftop solar is not enough, we have an external solar port here that feeds directly into the battery manager. So we can plug in a portable panel and set it out as the side. Makes it a little bit more convenient, because then you can move it around, adjust it to the sun's adjustment throughout the day. One of the things on these rigs that doesn't get mentioned very much in a lot of the videos I've watched whenever I was trying to decide what we wanted to go with was these windows. These windows slide open and has a screen so you get plenty of air in through here, as well as this one is on a hinge. This is your fire escape. So if you're blocked from getting out the front door during an emergency or fire situation, you can come pop a red lever here and jump out this window or slide out this window depending on how skilled you are. These windows are on both sides and are really convenient for airflow. So a couple of things I've done on the roof here is I added these water kind of guides, because there was water coming down the front of it and then trickling directly on the passenger window. So every time it rained or got any water on it, you were getting soaking wet, getting in and out of the passenger and driver side of the truck. The other big thing I've done up here is I've added these two Renogy 200 watt panels. So I have a total of 400 watts solar. That makes it self-sufficient to a certain extent. All right, let's take a look at the good stuff. Let's take a look inside. And that, my friends, is one of the great powers of the four-wheel camper. Has that low profile look and feel about it. It manages the wind better than a full topper. You're able to go down more trails, you get less scratches, it's not torn up as much with a pop top. It's just way more convenient than some of the others out there. So within the door itself, you have a screen door. This screen door has an easy pocket right here to open up, and it latches to the door so it all becomes one unit. It really comes in handy though when you want to just shut it and have a screen door open where bugs aren't getting in, but you're getting plenty of airflow. The door itself comes with a shade, locking from the inside on both the door and the deadbolt. And this is part of their Thermopack, which basically just clips into the window via Velcro and helps keep out the heat in the cool, or in the wintertime, the opposite. By the door, you have your power outlets, the actuator controls, and your inverter on and off button, along with all your light controls. The spacious interior allows us to sleep, cook, eat, and work comfortably for long periods of time without feeling cramped wherever and whenever we want. We ordered our camper with the queen size bed option, and it sleeps wonderful. We've added the Hest bed and have plenty of storage underneath. The rooftop fan can pull air or push air in or out, which allows us to control the temperature very well. The standard flush mount sink has hot and cold water pumped from the standard 20-gallon tank. The standard Dometic propane 2-burner stove allows us to cook out of the weather if needed. It comes with a 7200 and a 5200 burner so we can cook our favorite meals wherever we want. We chose to stick with the 65-liter standard refrigerator freezer. You can also upgrade to an 85-liter or 130-liter. It also comes with plenty of under cabinet storage space. There are several other storage areas you can use for pantry, bulk storage, and cooking items. To me, the star of the show is the electrical control hub centralized around the Red Arc Manager 30 and the Rogue system. It also includes all of the camper's fuse boxes, breakers, and other items that help manage the camper. The Manager 30 regulates the power from the vehicle's alternator, shore power, solar panels, and ensures optimal charging for the 405 amp hours of Dakota lithium batteries. The Red Arc control panel can be programmed to control lights, the water pump, fans, and other items. Also provides valuable information to manage your camper. One item we opted for was the indoor shower. Here you see the drain pan, just in case we're in inclement weather and we need to take a shower. The water port is at the bottom, and the shower curtain hangs from these hooks. Let's take a look at one of the more bougie items we added to the build, but for a real good reason. Introducing the Nomadic 12-volt, 12,000 BTU camper AC unit. In regular conditions, it can cool the internal temperature 15 to 20 degrees cooler than it previously was. To help us maintain the cooling and heating of the camper, we opted for the thermal pack, which is an insulation layer that goes over the canvas and the windows. All of the lights in the camper are LED and can be dimmed. So let's get down to the bottom line. Why did we build this particular setup? One of the challenges we've been facing is getting out and then having to come directly back for work, taking a week off or so at a time. Can't really take 2 weeks off. It's just not that convenient or conducive to our work schedules. The idea was to build a rig big enough and convenient enough with enough conveniences that you could work from the road if you had to. That's where this idea and concept was born. Four-wheel camper fit the build perfectly with us doing off-grid travel, plenty of power, plenty of amenities that we didn't have to go figure out. That's the great thing about four-wheel campers is they've already figured out the stove, the sink, the water, the power, even the air conditioner that I showed. It's all right here. It's the storage, is right there. I don't have to go sit and look at the back of my truck or my camper or whatever and try to figure it all out. But whenever it comes down to working, we need certain things to be set. I don't need to figure out how I'm going to charge my laptop or how I'm going to get power, to any particular thing. So thank you, Four-Wheel Camper, for figuring all of this out for us. It was very convenient the way they designed it. We had the camper, I think it took less than 2 months for them to build it from scratch and deliver exactly what we wanted as amenities. One of the great things too about four-wheel campers is they come in all sizes and models, full size versus mid-size truck, fully stocked amenities to bare bones, slide in so you don't have to take the bed off your truck, to full flatbed models to where you can dress it completely out, to the Project M where it just basically sits on the back of your bed rails like just a regular camper that you can access from the back, still having many of the amenities like the full-size bed, the fans built in, pre-wired, things like that. So those are all great options at different price points for different levels of travel or different build levels that you want to go to. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little walk around. If you have any questions, please hit me up in the comments section, or you can message me directly. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and obviously YouTube. If you have any questions about the camper, the pricing, the amenities, anything you need, CB Adventure Supply will be able to answer those questions, get you a good quote. You can also go to fourwheelcamper.com and do a custom build of this and get a summary of it to get a good idea of what the amenities are, generally how much they cost. Ryan can get you a price on the Mitts alloy tray, or if you want to go with a different one. The Toyota truck, I go back and forth. It's getting the job done, but it's not something that, I feel comfortable with, so who knows what'll happen in the future. But I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you down the trails.